Greetings, dear precious spirit soul. Yeah, let's just all link up in our hearts. All those divine beings on all, whoever they are on whatever dimension or reality or beyond that we are part of, and yet each individual. Yes. Take a nice deep breath where you are. Notice where you are. This is important. Listen up, as they would say. The art of spiritual healing. Spiritual healing is different from mind healing, spiritual mind healing. You're not healing the mind. You don't need to heal a mind. You need to know how the mind operates so that it doesn't operate you. And you know how to be who you are, regardless of whether there is a mind or there isn't a mind, because you are established in yourself. Now, the art of spiritual healing, it has to do is to have God consciousness. Now, we use words, and most of us, we're just speaking or writing or reading, listening, without really being aware of what's actually happening in that process. And in the mystic path, the healing path, the practitioner healing, as a spiritual practitioner, healer, I'm a healing facilitator. I don't heal, and I don't have to ask for anything, because you see, that's another one, because in God consciousness, the divine that you're part of and with, whatever name we want to have, knows what you have need of before you ever ask, because you are that connected, closer than breathing. And there was this man called Mesmer, and that's how mesmerizing came about. To mesmerize, what meant to hypnotize. And this was the name of this man who was using this to help people, in a sense, by working in their, bringing forth in their subconscious what was causing a problem or being there. Now, that's a process you can all do yourself by actually asking the divine, your own being. You don't even have to ask, but with your desire. But you can use words for a while, because we've been taught so much with words. And even talking to God, you don't really need to talk to the divine. You don't need to convince God to do it. People say, how could God allow all this stuff going on in the world? What do you mean? This is not God's business. This is what people don't get. This is a false God, you might say. This is a creator being in that sense, or a, what would you say, what do they have? Oligarch of some kind. That means a big deal creator, manipulator, controller. And it's always controlled through stories, you see. That's what we believe and what we think and how we behave and all the narratives, what we're told and all of this kind of thing. All right. So when you get mesmerized, that means we get caught up in all of these concepts, worldly concepts. And then even the desire, like what I've noticed is you could even notice the moment you chose to maybe get sick in the body, you see, because either you didn't want to go somewhere, you didn't want to do somewhere, or you wanted to have an excuse, or you, whatever, I don't know. You see, this is what you know for you. I have to look for, I'm not trying to put words into your mouth. So the idea then in spiritual healing, you're not trying to change your thoughts. You get to the place called transcendental or the mystic, where you're at the place of listening. And then what happens is, as a practitioner, that I do this, in my healing and counseling practitioner sense, over the phone or in person, or when you come to, retreats and workshops, that sort of thing, is that when you know the absolute truth and you are in God consciousness, then there are no hypnotic trances. You're not dealing with the mind. And it's actually, thy grace is sufficient unto thee. That means the grace that we are part of, is sufficient. Always meets our needs in every way, whether we're here, there, or anywhere. And the sense is, where we really want to be is in our unification, our awareness of our unity. And it's so far beyond words that even words are always separating and dividing and defining and labeling. And yet that's what we have right now. So the idea of spiritual healing, it doesn't mean you don't do anything. It doesn't mean you don't change your diet, or it doesn't mean you don't, get back out into nature and, give up the stress, all that kind of a thing. But we're not dealing with that as a practitioner or a spiritual healer, facilitator, I like to call it, because my work is as a spiritual healing and empowerment and enrichment facilitator. You see, I don't do it, because we're not the doer. So once we get how this works and how we're part of it, it's the best and easiest and most joyful way to be, because we're in the flow, you might say. And when we get out of the flow, we get mesmerized and realize and have realized to actually perceive and know the difference between truth and false. And then when we are in that place of the God consciousness, the divine consciousness that never changes. It doesn't say, like, after the flood, now you can eat animals. No, God does not change. That's something else, someone else. There's some monkeying around there. I just got at this church yard sale the other day, those 3 monkeys. They're like this big, hear no evil, see no evil, and speak no evil. I thought these guys were great. I think they were $1 for 3 of them, like that. They were great. Also, doing a lot of canning. I'm canning plums like crazy. Plum this and that and this and that, and apples, and made like apple pie already in a jar. So you just put it in whatever crust you're going to do. Good stuff, like the good stuff. Anyway, I just had to. So, thy grace is sufficient unto me and to thee, that we've been led so far away from the divine that to even be aware of the possibility that everything is magnificent and glorious and joyful for you as a being, and it happens, and woo-hoo-hoo, it's this. Oh no, you're out of your mind, you're wacko, and then you don't do anything, and then you don't, and it's all of these are mesmerisms, you see, hypnotic trances, distractions taking us away. So in the spiritual healing process, healing, in a sense, there's the heel of your foot. It's the process of not trying to change anything. I'm not trying to make something happen. I'm not trying to monkey with anything at all. I'm knowing the truth. And when that is known, the absolute truth manifests. And you know that there is no evil. You see, that doesn't mean here there isn't good and evil. No, that's one of those lies that is told to make you think you don't judge anybody because it's all fine. There's no good or evil, and you're seeing it. It means you got it. No. It's all distraction, partial. It's manipulation. It's dumbing down. It's controlling you. No, what happens is you can perceive people are harming and hurting others, animals and children and adults and people, and what actually is going on, and you can know what's going on through the narratives that are going on, through what's being projected out there by telling you this has. Don't ever say, oh, this is going to happen. Don't agree. If you don't want it, don't agree, you see. That's how you own your sovereignty as yourself. You take back your kingdom. Not your free will, but you clear the dome of all of the lies that have taken us away from who we are. And now we must do that now. Now do it. Because the stronger you become in your spiritual life, you're already being there. All right, my darlings. So, this is good stuff. Share it with others. I'm here to serve. I have my mentoring programs, counseling over the phone, in person here at Mount Shasta, workshops. I call workshops retreats, opportunities. You can email me if you want to be even on. I'm not a big mailer on all kinds of things like that. But I just want you to know that I'm here and here to serve you and empower you and enrichen you in every way possible. So the art of spiritual healing is God consciousness. That's it.